Hello, it's Crafty Rhea, and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be doing something a little different and a little bit of fun. Since we're all staying away from each other, we won't be going to any Easter egg hunts, anything like that. I thought it would be fun to make large Easter eggs to put in our window. I've seen on Facebook and other places, a lot of people were doing these neighborhood Easter egg hunts where people are putting Easter egg signs in their windows. So I thought it would be fun to make some to put in our windows. This way you don't have to go out and buy anything special, because the idea is to not be out in the stores. So what I decided to use was just cardboard. I know it's hard to see. I have my camera pretty far away. This is sideways. This was a Sam's Club box, and I picked it because it had two large panels that were about 11 by 16, and I thought that would be a good size for an egg. Our house sits pretty far off the road, so I wanted the eggs to be big so people could see them from the street. And what I did was I just cut off the two panels, the large panels on each side, and I took my pencil and just kind of crudely, made an oval shape, and then kind of made the bottom a little flat and squat like an egg. I think you can pretty much see that. Here it is sideways, so just turn your head sideways. Once you have one shaped the way you like it and cut out, you can go ahead and take it and place it on the other piece of cardboard, or however many you want to make. Today we'll make 2, and then just take a marker or a pencil and trace around it so you can cut it out. There really is no rhyme or reason. These will be seen from the street. Nobody should be getting close enough to your house to see them up close, so they don't have to be perfect, or just to get it kind of an idea of an egg shape. And then what I did is I took my scissors and I just simply cut it out. You can use a craft knife, depends on what type of material you have. This is corrugated cardboard, so it's a little hard to cut. So on a piece like this, I want to be very careful not to have this part bend. So I'm going to cut off these pieces kind of as I go to get them out of my way, so I have room to bring my scissors and my hand in there. It's kind of hard. I used my craft knife for a little bit, but then I thought the scissors ended up being easier. And then once you get that piece, just get rid of those scraps. This is a great way to recycle. If you don't have anything big like cardboard, you can use newspaper, wrapping paper, something like that. You would just need to find a way to make it stay stiff in your window. You'd have to tape it up. So if you have something like poster board, that would be perfect, or any big boxes. You could even take a couple of small boxes and tape them together so you have a big one. There we go. So I have a couple of eggs. And they don't have to be perfect. Don't worry about it. We're going to cover them up anyway, so it doesn't really matter what it says on one side. So there we go. We have 2 eggs that we're going to decorate for the windows. I used to be a scrapbooker. I have tons and tons of 12 by 12 paper in my stash. And I know these are larger than 12 inches, but I'm going to use the 12 by 12 paper anyway, because the eggs will have stripes and stuff on them, so we can hide the seam. And even if you didn't hide the seam, you would not be able to see the seam from your window to the street. So I went through my paper and I realized I had a lot of paper from this slab number 4. This was from Michael's Oh my goodness, I can't remember when. 2004 is when it came out. So I've had this in my stash for many years. So I picked out some bright colors. First of all, I picked out some soft colors for the eggs, because you know when you dye eggs, they usually come out a soft color. They're not very bright, the actual dye. But once you decorate them with some bright stuff. So I had this paper, both in yellow and in purple, and it has some white lines, white texture on it. I don't know if you can see that really good. There you go. And I thought that kind of really looked like an egg texture, because, you know, when you dye your eggs, they're not perfectly solid. Although you won't really be able to see the texture from the street, but I thought it gave it a good base. So I'm going to use those as my base. And then I picked some other colors here. I picked this bright pink, and I thought these three were just gorgeous. These three colors to use to decorate the eggs. So I'll set the rest aside and we'll go ahead and color the eggs. Oh, I'll also say I have this matte stack of cardstock in all kinds of bright colors, and I thought I could punch some circles out of this and make one of my eggs dotted, because that's always fun and super easy. You can use ribbon, wrapping paper, anything you have, construction paper. If you have kids, let them get involved. They'll have a blast doing this. It'll be fun. So what I will do, since my eggs are not quite 12 inches wide, I will take one piece of this and put it down kind of like that. And I will be using some of my Aleene's tacky glue, I think, and my makeshift glue spreader. This I got from Dollar Tree. It's a makeup sponge. And I thought it would be good to spread the glue pretty flat around the edge to hold that paper down. I'm trying to decide if I want to use that. Maybe I will just go ahead and use my art glitter glue, because then the paper is less likely to warp. And then I want to put some of this on here. You can use tacky glue if that's what you have, Elmer's glue, double-sided tape, whatever you happen to have. And kind of, actually this is going to dry too fast, so I'm not going to be able to smooth it out. But that's okay. If there's glue lines in it, you're not going to see them from the street. Then I will take this paper, I'll take this and just lay it right down on it with a little bit left over on each side. That way I could fold it over to the back and make it a nice clean edge. And then I have this piece here, which I will cut down to about that far. I have my 12 by 12 cutter out. This glue dries really, really fast, so you have to work pretty quickly. There we go. So then what I want to do is I want to kind of fold the paper over to the back. I'm going to kind of cut it around the edge just to give myself a border. Doesn't have to be perfect. And you don't even have to cover the back at all. I just like my edges neat. And then I'm just making little cuts here so I can fold it over really good, just to cover up that rough edge. I don't think anybody is going to see that rough edge anyway. And then for the back, I think I will use the tacky glue, just to see if it holds it down a little stronger. I didn't have my tacky glue upside down. That should be pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and run a piece right along there. Use my glue smusher. And then just go all the way around, folding up the edges. Okay, here we have one egg done. I decided that the Scotch tape worked a lot better than the wet glue. And I'm going to run this along my table like this just to flatten out that curve. Give it a smooth edge. I pressed really hard, and that kind of gave it more of a smooth edge rather than all these little buckles. And you can barely see the seam on the front. All right, I'm going to go off camera and do the other egg, and I will be back. Okay, before I finish the second one, I found a much easier way to do it. I'm using the tacky glue, putting a really big bead close to the edge. Using my glue spreader, I am spreading it out just so it's covering that edge. Taking all the glue lines away. And then I will set the paper over it and just press it down really good right around the edge. And then I will put some art glitter glue on this little edge since it's going paper to paper. There we go. It does give a little bit of wrinkling, but like I said, you won't be able to see that from the street. Okay. Now the edges are all stuck down pretty good, and I'm going to do something just to make it a little easier on myself rather than fold the edges over, because I'm not really a fan of how that turned out. I'm just going to use my craft knife and use the cardboard as a guide and just cut the paper, or just use my scissors. All right, there we go. So that, I think, was much easier than the first egg. If you have any edges that need to be cleaned up, you can just go in with your scissor and just clean them right up. And again, you're not going to be able to see the little details from the road. If you have, if you're using something thinner than cardboard, you won't have to even cover it probably if you're using poster board or something like that, unless you want to cover it a certain color, or you can even paint the background as well. However you want to do it. So we have a purple egg and we have a yellow egg. There we go. Let me get some of my stuff out of the way. We'll start with the yellow egg. And I thought I would use these 3 colors just to make some lines. So the paper is wider than the egg, so I can just cut some strips, and the strips don't even have to match. I will cut a couple strips that are 2 inches, and we'll see how that goes. There's one. I'll cut one of each. Or maybe I'll cut 2 purple strips. How's that? That are 2 inches. We'll give the egg some symmetry. Kind of lay them out over the egg, and we'll see how we like those lines. I might have to make them curved a little bit to make it look like they're really going around the egg. So I'm going to take my paper here, and I'm kind of just going to give this just a round of a curve here. Just to get an idea. And I'm going to cut that out. I think that's better. So I'm going to go ahead and use the same curve. I'm going to cut this in half. And I will put one on the bottom, and I will put one on the top. And that does look more like the stripe on an Easter egg. Can make this one look a little more even. And then I think I want a zigzag in the middle. So I will take the blue, I think, or maybe the green. Let's see how the green looks. I'll take the green, and I'm going to use this piece here as a pattern, and I'm going to, I'll do it this way so you can see it. I will make myself a curve, and then I will bring it out a little bit because I want to cut a zigzag into it, but I want to keep the same curve. All right, so I will cut this piece out. And then I think I will try to make this a zigzag, unless I just want to keep it a straight. I think I do want a zigzag. And I'm just randomly doing triangles. So I just kind of made zigzag pattern, and I'm just going to cut these triangles out with my scissors. It's not rocket science. If it doesn't work out, we'll try something else. So let's see how that will look. There we go. So I will go ahead and stick these down. I'm going to use my art glitter glue. And then I will just trim them off, or I can just fold them over onto the back. So we have one egg there. And we have the purple egg here. And I think I will use the blue. Again, I'm going to use this purple curve as my cutting guide. I'll do the same thing with my art glitter glue and just stick these two down. I'm not going to put one in the middle, I don't think. I think it kind of gives the egg a little more dimension having these on there. And this one, I'm just going to cut these off. It kind of gives the egg more of a round feel to it rather than just a flat piece. Okay, so I have these two eggs, and I'm going to cut a bunch of random circles because I thought I would do polka dots on the eggs, and we'll see what happens. See what we can come up with. So I'm just going to cut out some of these blue ones. This is a 2-inch circle punch. And then I thought I would just randomly put some of them on the egg. I will put them underneath. I'll try to tuck them underneath that whenever possible, rather than on top of the circles or the stripes. Pick out another color. I'll do 6 of these orange ones. Some you want going off the edge of it. like that color. I will do 6 of these, kind of a more of a coral pink. There we go. I'm just going to kind of line them up on there where I want them. This one here, it won't fit up underneath there because I have it glued down so well, so I could just cut a piece of that off. There we go. I'm going to cut a little piece of this one off. So there is one Easter egg, and I'm going to go ahead and just put some glue on the backs of them and stick them on. Okay, I'm going to let those dry on there, and then I'll come back and trim the edges. I kind of like the way the polka dots look, so I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with this one. I feel like I'm missing some. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm missing one of those. That's okay. I don't think I need all of those. All right, I think that's kind of cute, and I will go ahead and glue them down. Oh, this guy here, let's see. I just got it to go underneath a second ago. There we go. I'm just giving this a little piece of a shape, and I'm going to stick it kind of like right there. Although you probably won't even be able to see that from the street. And there's another Easter egg. Okay, so I'm going to trim off all of those extra pieces. And I'll come around and do the same thing on this one. Oh, I see what happened. Remember I lost one? There's 2 stuck together. There we go. All right. Well, I like the zigzag in the middle, and I don't like the one without the zigzag. So I'm going to make a zigzag for this one. I just have to decide what color I want to use. Probably the green again. So I'm going to do the same thing I did before. This reminds me of Charlie Brown's outfit. Then I'm going to just put that on top, just like that. I almost grabbed my drink instead of my art glitter glue. That would have been a mess. All right, there we go. We have 2 Easter eggs for the windows. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you go ahead and make some Easter eggs to put in your windows, so when kids walk by, they can see them and really enjoy. Thanks again for watching. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Leave me a comment below. Let me know if you're doing anything like this in your neighborhood, or if you found this video useful, or what you think. And if you haven't yet joined me over in my Facebook group, Create with Crafty Rhea, I'd love for you to join me over there. We do a lot of sharing of our projects, and I'd love to see the Easter eggs you made. Thanks again, everybody, for watching. I appreciate all of you. I hope everybody has a happy Easter, and you know what to do. Go get crafting. Bye-bye.